Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
Hello and welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. Cowboys are now officially on a bye after a loss to the Cardinals. They are 3-5-1 at the halfway point, even further than that now. 9 games in, 8 games to go. The climb is very, very uphill if the Cowboys are going to do anything this year. What a demoralizing loss to the Cardinals, who had lost 5 in a row coming off their bye. And the defense did what it did. It's what it does. And obviously, the offense, this was a huge step in the wrong direction for the offense, because it was one of those games where you kind of thought they had a chance to put up a lot of points like they've done at AT&T Stadium, and they just certainly did not. They really scored 10 points if you take away the special teams touchdown, and the Cowboys fall. Now, they made a trade. The first thing on Tuesday morning they did was they acquired Logan Wilson, linebacker from Cincinnati Bengals. We'll talk about that. We'll let you guys talk about it. 888-855-2297. We're going to be quick today, so let's start it off. Brian in Kansas City. Brian, what's up?
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
Man, that was painful. Hey, before we say anything else, though, something you said at the end of last week, I hope Dr. Sunshine's doing okay.
Yeah.
Wish the best for your family.
Thank you.
That's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Moving on quick to football, I don't know much about Logan Wilson. I just listened to Kyle give his 2020 evaluation of, when he was coming out. We didn't give much up, so he can't be worse than what we got a linebacker right now. We got Overshown coming back. That gives me some hope. I hope for the rest of the day, I hope we keep our picks, to be honest with you, because I think our offensive tackles can't pass block. They run block pretty well, but they can't pass block, and last night I thought that was the difference. I'll hang up and listen to what you think about that. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you. I like the trade, because what I like about the trade with Logan Wilson is, number one, from what I've been told, he's your best linebacker that you have. And that's when Overshown comes back, too. I mean, he's your best linebacker. He's a comparison, fair comparison maybe to a healthy Van Der Esch. That's nice if that's the case. But if he is a guy that can fit and can help you, he'll be here for 2 or 3 years after this. I mean, assuming he can go and play and fit. So, what you need, you're going to need a linebacker. You're going to need to get an addition in here. You tried to do that with Sanborn and Murray. Didn't really work. This is an upgrade from that, supposedly. Let's see if that is the case. And then as far as more trades, for me, I would if I have more opportunities to do that kind of stuff, I would do it. If I can get another veteran that comes in and is better than anybody that I have on the team at that position, and it cost me is in the range of a 7th round, maybe 6th or 5th, and I know that that he's going to be on the team for a couple of years, I would do that. I would do a couple of moves like that. All right, Davion in Illinois is next. Davion.
Hey, what's up, big dog? What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing well, man. Just wanted to pop in real fast. I like the pick. Hopefully we can. I was rooting for trying to get linebacker for the longest. So hopefully this linebacker can actually do what we need to do as far as a linebacker. I know we're looking at a safety and possibly a pass rusher. So hopefully we pull something out of the hat and get something else to help out with that. Because I think if we get something, we might get turned back the clock to 2018 when we was 3-5 and made the playoffs. So hopefully we can do that and get it going. And I'll get off, let everybody get on. I know it's a quick day.
Thanks, Davion. Appreciate that. Yeah. You know what I like about another thing about Logan Wilson is that, he has 11 interceptions in his career. Now, he didn't have one this year. I don't even think he had one last year. So his first 3-4 seasons, he had 11 picks. As a linebacker, it shows awareness. It shows a little bit of pass coverage ability as well, which is certainly what you're looking for. So he's going to have to come in and learn what the system is and scheme and all that stuff, but he should be able to do that. Again, this is not savior or anything like that, but when it comes to the linebacker position, he's better than what you have, and that seems like it's an upgrade to do that and to give up a 7th round pick for it. So I'm fine with that. All right, Chris in Saratoga Springs is next.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Another bad loss for us, obviously. Bottom line, we're an average football team right now.
If that.
And it shows by the way we're playing. We're nothing more than an average football team. I like the move for Logan Wilson. I called a bunch, and I said we need a linebacker, so I do like that move, and it's only a 7th round pick. So it's a win-win for us on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to make one more move. I would love to get it. I'm not messing with the 1st round picks. I'm keeping those, not touching those. But if we can get a defensive tackle, like somebody upstate New York area, that area, I think would be a great addition. But I think one more move would be nice. And would have to have a couple years left in the contract. Nothing a 1-year rental. We need something with at least two more years after this year to make a move. But that's all I got.
True. I'm with you. I think we're on the same page there. And I think the Cowboys are feeling the same way. I mean, they'd like to have somebody in there that could help because, if you do get some help there at defensive tackle, that is going to help you at your linebacker spot. It's going to let those guys kind of, show that awareness, fly to the football, do those kind of things. So watching the replay, I didn't realize Sam Williams blocked that punt with his face. I thought he blocked it with his hand. But, hey, either way, it resulted in a touchdown and a needed touchdown. All right, let's go. Ime in Napa, California. Ime.
Hey, good morning, Nick. Chris said to be fast, so I just want to say, man, I think that a coach once said, or a great coach once said, you are what you are halfway through the season. That was Bill Parcells, and, man, we are what we are. We're not a good defense, and now our coach is starting to call the game knowing how bad our defense is, and instead of just kind of just sticking with the game plan and running the ball and, taking what points we have. I think we really just shot ourselves in the foot. Obviously, our defense did what they do every week, and our offense just didn't do. And I don't know if a player out there for a trade, makes a difference. I definitely don't want to see, another Mingo or anything like that, a guy that's not even playing anything, like he doesn't affect anything. So, man, Nick, thanks for always keeping all of us straight and everything like that. Not giving up on the season, and love to hear what you have to say. And every now and then, man, get an opinion from Chris. I think he has some good stuff too, or just like to hear what he has to say. You take care, and I appreciate everything, man. You're doing great work. Keep it up, buddy.
Appreciate it. I think something that you said was Schottenheimer calling the game because of the defense, and that's very, very true. I said it in the press box right off the bat. Kick the field goal. First drive of the game, go get your field goal. You're moving backwards here. So yeah, I know you want to go and set the tone and score, but in every game they've won this year, won or tied, that's averaging about 40 points a game. In every game they've won or tied, Aubrey's kicked a field goal, if not 2 or 3. So you can kick field goals and still score points. They still count. And I think that way he did it in the first quarter, I think he did it too early in the fourth. I'm kicking that field goal there on 4th and 4. I'm making it a 2-touchdown game. And then we'll see what happens. And you never know how it plays out, but they did get the ball back. They did go and score, and they cut it to 10. It would have been nice to see it there at 7, but that wasn't the case. Anyways, let's go to break here on Cowboys Storyline. I'll be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. I am Nick Eatman, and we're talking Cowboys football here. Cowboys with a tough loss against the Cardinals. They did make a trade to get some defensive help. See if they make more before the deadline. Let's talk to Josh in Princeton. He's next.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Josh. What's up, man?
Yep. I used to hate the term complimentary football because I feel like it should be obvious and understood that you want to play well on all phases of the game. But this defense, they are what they are. They got a couple stops. They even got pressure on the quarterback. You got a special teams touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
The offense got to at least score 30 and capitalize on that. I mean, that's what we've been asking for, just a few more stops, and they gave it to us.
That's right. No, you're right about that.
Yep, and I like the trade. I would like to see maybe two more, or one more, or something like that. But
all right,
that's all I got.
All right, Josh, appreciate it. You know, I like it too, and 50% of why I like it is because it's a trade. It's something, you know. They did something, and the other half is that it fits the criteria that I'm, you know, kind of looking at as, you know, do you think this fixes a need or at least helps a need? It's not going to fix it, but yeah, and because they're the worst third down team, not only in the NFL, but it looks like as it stands right now, one of the worst in the history of the NFL on third down. They cannot get off the field, and they're getting to third downs, but they're not getting off the field. They're not making tackles. They're not making the plays. And I've said this before, a guy like a linebacker, safety, defensive tackle, somebody that can just help you get off the field. If he can help you get off the field, that's going to help your offense. Now, the offense, though, you're right, Josh. The offense did not pull its weight. And, you know, as I wrote in my article last night as the analogy, I mean, if you've hurt your right foot the entire, you know, forever, and you just keep leaning on your left foot and compensating there, well, at some point that's going to hurt too. And I think that's kind of what happened. You just keep leaning on this offense to make all these plays, and the guys score every single time, and they rush and rush, and you know they didn't get the job done. You know, but I do think that Schottenheimer. You know, I understand being aggressive, but a 4th and 4, a 4th and 3, those are not sure things, even down at the 7 or 8 yard line. If it was a sure thing, people would go for 2 every time. Why don't they? They don't, because it's not easy to score down there. So if you didn't do what you're supposed to do, I mean, the first drive of the game, it was, go look at it. It was Javonte for 9, Javonte for 8. Right up the middle, then a pass, 16, 11, 9, 8. Then they get down to the 8 yard line, and then they want to go wide with Javonte, and he loses 2 yards, and that sets everything back. You know, keep doing what you're doing, run the ball, and if it doesn't work, kick a field goal, get points, and you know, come back, because that helps your defense. I mean, putting a team down still helps your defense, and because you're scoring points, and if you can go do it again and get up 10, now you're really helping your defense. So I thought they were way too greedy there. All right, next caller, Zach in Germany. Is that right?
How are you, sir?
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Right. Good. I'll try to be quick for you. The parables between Dak Prescott and Tony Romo are more evident than ever. I loved Romo, and I hated to see the way he went out. For Dak, I just feel he's playing so good outside of last night's game. But overall, and we just cannot give him any help on the other side, which is what you were just talking about, right foot, left foot. So just looking at their careers is just interesting to see the same trajectory. Interesting stat that I wanted to share today. Cowboys are on pace to be the first team in history to average 30 points per game, but also allow 30 points a game, which is never a good thing. And the last question or statement that I have before I hang up, defensive help, obviously it's trade deadline. That's what we need the most. Of the 5 positions, defensive tackle, DN, linebacker, corner, and safety, what would you like to see them address and in what order? And I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
All right. Defensive end is where I would like for them to address, and they have some guys, but they don't have a guy, and that's the only way I would I would trade a first round pick if there is a guy that you think can certainly come in and is worthy of it, but defensive end would be the first. I could, they could use help at corner or safety. Safeties, I don't know the injury status of some of these guys right now. I mean, I would think Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson should be able to come back here soon. We'll see what happens with Trayvon Diggs. I mean, he's eligible to come back or during the Thanksgiving Day game. He can come back for that after the Eagles game. He could be eligible to play in the Thanksgiving Day game if that happens. But, it's a situation where, you're, like you said, 30 points a game on offense averaging and giving up 30. I mean, that's not the kind of 30 for 30 that I think that you want to be watching, but that's where we are. All right, Al in Annapolis, Maryland. Al.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good show. I need to be quick. Chris wants me to be quick. So, love Shoddy. I'm glad we have him. I think he'll do good down the road. But when we got down there on the first drive, 4th and 4, we got to kick the field goal. If we're playing Kansas City or Buffalo, then yes, go for the 7. We got to take the 3 there. We got to take the other 3. And then I think if we had to save that timeout to give Aubrey the time to set up, he makes the other kick. That's 9 points right there. Puts us within, 2 points?
Sure.
And then we drive down at the end, get to the 50, kick the winning field goal, walk off, goodbye. I think that's really the strategy when we're playing not a powerhouse team. We need to take the points. If we're playing a powerhouse team, we got to go for 7. I get it.
All right.
But I just think there was some foolish – I know we made a lot of mistakes, but foolish mistakes, fumbles, all the other baloney that went on. So that was my opinion.
Right.
Been a fan since '66. So watched a lot of Cowboys over the years.
Yeah, well, you haven't watched the defense like this, really, and I get the frustration, and you can hear it. Thank you for the call. I agree with the principle of what you're saying. I would take it a little further. If it's 4th and 4 and I'm going up against the AFC Pro Bowl team, I'm kicking it. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me if it's Arizona or Kansas City or whatever. You take the smart points when you get a chance to do that, and I would have done it then. And I understand, you think you're going to be in these shootouts, but you never know how these games are going to go. You got to take what's automatic, and no one's ever called a 4th and 4 automatic like they say with Aubrey. You talk about the timeouts and saving the timeouts. I don't think the Cowboys would have gotten the ball. I mean, back in the second quarter. So I think I like what they did there. The play that hurt them the most, and it was not a great game for Jake Ferguson. It's 2 in a row now for Ferg that he has not played that well. But at the end of the half, when they throw the ball to him, and he has to get out of bounds, got to go forward. You can't go backwards. You got to go forward, and he certainly didn't do that. And by going backwards, then the clock kept going, because I think if you can get out of bounds at 13 seconds or so, then you can maybe do one more play and get a few more yards, sure, everyone wants to see the record, but there's a reason why Steph Curry doesn't shoot from half court all the time. I mean, can he make it? Yeah, he can make it, but he's probably going to miss. And the same, Aubrey, can you make it? Yeah, but it's not ideal because there's so much that has to happen. You have to hit it absolutely perfect because it's going to shift at some point. And so, that was big though. I mean, they just left too many points on the board, and that's the difference of the game. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I get it. Shotty's playing aggressive because he's coaching aggressive because he knows, man, I can't sit there and just kick field goals all day long. And you're right. You don't want to kick them all day long, but when it's the smart play, I think you got to take it. And we got to take a break. We'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades in Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. I'm Nick Eatman. And we're talking the Cowboys-Cardinal game from last night. Also, the trade that they made this morning for Logan Wilson. We'll see if they make more before the deadline today, 3 o'clock Central Time. What is that, about almost 5 hours? So Jerry Jones said this morning on 105.3 The Fan that they are working on some other things, and they didn't want to give anything away, but they are definitely in the works of doing some others. And, and we'll see how people feel. I mean, it's mixed opinion. Some people don't really want to trade a lot more draft capital and say, well, the season's over. But again, if you get the right player, then you can treat it in a way of free agency. You're beating the other teams to free agency and acquiring that contract or whatever it is. Just adding some players that you're going to want to add anyways. So that's what I think this move is. We'll see if some of the others are the same way. All right, Mike in Birmingham, England. Mike.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. A bit tired. I stayed up for that nonsense last night, but yeah, I'm good. I'm a big fan of your post-game videos on Twitter. I'd just like to see a happy one once in a while.
We'll see if we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm working on that. Okay, I'm working on the whole process. I know it's not perfect. I got things to say. You know what I mean? And I was told a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, and I mean it's 3 minutes every time. So I'm trying to figure out the best way. I'll get a mic. I'll figure all that out. We're just kind of playing around with it. I realized this morning I woke up and it didn't send, so I was like, oh crap. So I just went ahead and went with it. So anyways, thanks, Mike. What do you got?
I mean, well, the blowout. That was a blowout last night, in opinion. Fourth down on the first drive. There was never a point that I thought, hey, we're going to win this. And, I think they're... And I won't repeat the words that he said, but he said the world to hear. It's just too easy. And he was always bored how easily he was getting through. So I don't like saying this halfway through the season. I have to see how this season now got to win 6 out of 8 games in our schedule and how we're playing. But it is an opportunity.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Sorry. Sounds like you're like across the pond or something. That's what it sounds like on the phone. And usually better reception than that. Apologize for that. We have open phone lines, so it's not like we're going to another caller here. 888-855-2297 if you want to talk the game, the trade, other trades, baseball. I mean, whatever you want to talk about. Maybe not baseball because I don't know a lot what's going on there. All right, so let's but as far as Mike was talking about, I heard a little bit about kind of what they have to do down the stretch. And, I don't even think the Cowboys are thinking that way right now. I really don't. I mean, I think it's more about, hey, let's turn this thing around and win a game. Let's go win a game. Let's get the defense better. Let's go to Vegas and win, and then let's see what happens after that. You can play with Philly. You got to play a good game, but you can play with them, and then get to Thanksgiving and play the Chiefs, see what happens. I mean, they're not world beaters. I mean, they're 5-4. I mean, I get it. This team makes quarterbacks, average quarterbacks look great. I can't imagine what they're going to do to a great quarterback. Maybe it flips. Maybe this whole thing's going to be Groundhog's Day. Who knows? All right, let's go to our next caller. Who do we got? Big Mo?
Hey, Nick, how you doing today, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Tough loss yesterday, but looking at it with the glass half full, the defense, in some strange ways, did look a little better. I think the coordinator took some of our advice. They played a couple 5-man lines. They put more pressure on the quarterback. I think the back end kind of hurt us a little bit. Some of the guys still look like they're in space. But I really think Shotty, personally, I think he panicked a little bit. There's a lot of pressure. I would recommend him just to calm down and, play your offense. And I think things can kind of start to come together if we just look at it one game at a time. And we may need to make one or two more trades. Can't mention names, but Tennessee or New York has got some great players that we can look at. And then some help on the back end, maybe a veteran cover safety that can help bring those young guys together.
Sure. Yeah, that would be nice. I think I know some of the names that you're talking about. And, I've heard a lot. I mean, I've probably heard 10 to 12 names over the last few weeks. Some of them aren't really legit. Some of them could be. So we'll see what happens today. I mean, it's probably going to be a fun day. I don't know about fun. It's going to be an interesting day. How about that? No, it's not fun. Everyone. It's like you wake up at 7:00 in the morning, see all these, text messages and you realize, you were in the press box at about 12:30 last night, and not home and sleep until almost 2. So yeah, it's a quick turnaround, but we knew it would be, and I knew this show would be that way as well. All right, Jeremy in Salt Lake City's next. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, what's up? So,
go?
Am I on? Hello?
You want to do this? Let's go. Jeremy.
Yeah, sorry, man.
What you got?
I'm to the point where I'm kind of wondering if any of this is going to help, if we're going to trade. I mean, in this defense, it just looks like no matter who we have, we've made good players look awful. I don't know. I just feel like, Nick, if you messed up at your job constantly every week, right? Mm-hmm. And your boss comes and says to you, "Okay, hey, don't swear on the air, okay?" And then the next week you do the same thing, and then the next week you do the same thing. It just feels like we're not getting any better on defense, and like you said earlier, it's affecting now the way that Shotty's calling plays. And I just don't see, no matter who we get in there, I mean, you could get, the best players and make them look average when you have a horrible defensive scheme. And we just look like we're on roller skates all the time, and it's just frustrating. And I'm at my wit's end. I've had enough of you before this, man. And I don't know. Okay. I'll hang up, but yeah I'd like to hear this thing.
I get it. I mean, I understand that. And I think you're actually being too nice, if that's even a thing. I don't think they had great players and they make them look awful. I think they had good to decent players. And and they don't look good at all. So that's the problem. I mean, what I'm saying is it's not like he's having these all pro guys that are great. Now you could make the case for Deron Bland. Bland's always been this. I mean, honestly, Bland has always played like this. He gives up passes. The year he set records, why did he set records? Why did they keep throwing at him? Because I've seen Dion, have an all-pro year and he gets like 2 interceptions. So when you have 9, 10, 11 picks in a year, like Diggs had, like Everson Walls had, it's because you can make plays. You also give up some plays, and they're not afraid of you. And that's the risk that the quarterback has to take. And I was sitting next to Derek Eagleson last night at the game. Derek, we saw those comeback routes that Harrison kept catching, and he was like, Bland's probably going to get one of these. He didn't, but that's the way he plays, and you could definitely see it, But so it is what it is. He needs another good corner on the other side. He needs pass rush up like any good cornerback can have. So, obviously wasn't his best game. To go back to the Eberflus thing, and I get the point you're making. At this point in the season, there's got to be some kind of change was made. Let's see what happens. Let's see if there is one, because I'm with you. You just, it feels like enough's enough, and something absolutely is going to change. I don't think you just trade a 7th-round pick for a veteran linebacker and say, well, that's it. We don't need to make any moves or anything else. They need to make a lot of moves here. All right. We are rolling along here. I don't have open lines for you, though. Cowboys storyline is open, 888-855-2297.
I got 2 calls,
I believe
JR in Avondale.
JR in Avondale is next.
Morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not good. Living out here in Arizona. But anyway, I'll be quick. Everyone's kind of talked about all the stuff I was going to talk about. Marvin Harrison, I spoke last week about how hard they were going to try to get him going because teams frustrate him, they jam him, they don't give him a free release, and he gets his head out of the game, and he's out had a good year, and we just let him free release off the line of scrimmage, and I don't understand that, or McBride as well, why we're not hitting him at the line of scrimmage. And lastly, I have a question about Cooper Beebe. I love the guy, and I think he's a good center, but why not play Hoffman in this game? Beebe hasn't played for 6 weeks, and Hoffman's been in there. Why not let Hoffman go one more week and try to keep some continuity in line?
I think
that's
he
all
did.
I got.
All right, JR, I appreciate that. I think he did go one more week. I mean, to answer your own question there, it sounds like he could have gone last week against Denver. They wanted to see, maybe give Hoffman another try, and it didn't really go that well. I had the same question. I kind of wondered that, and that's the scary part is every game this year since week 2 in the offensive line issues. You're like, well, yeah, it doesn't look great, but they are down 3 starters, or they are down 2 starters, or last week they're down still 1 starter. Well, they were down no starters now. So that was their offensive line. The line that they went into training camp and said, this is who it is. We're going to have Terrence Steele and Guyton as our tackles. Beebe's going to be the center. Tyler Smith's going to play left guard. And Tyler Booker's going to play right guard. That's the offensive line. And then Monday Night Football, they're going to all be healthy. They're going to go play a 2-5 Arizona Cardinal team. And they did not look good. The offensive line was really, really bad at times, to the point where they did bench Steele. Now, remember, Terrence Steele was added to the injury report early in the day with migraines. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I told this to Chris on the field last night. I've covered this team now for 27 years, and I think only twice have I written down migraines for an injury, and it's happened here in the last few weeks with Wanye Thomas and then Terrence Steele. I don't know what's happening. I mean, maybe it's always been a case, but not something that I remember. So, and that's not anything I can really relate to. Now, Steele did play. He didn't play his best. They took him out, put in Nate Thomas. It was okay, but it wasn't. It was still issues. And then the left tackle and Guyton struggling on the other side too. So that kind of is what it is. All right, Kevin in New Jersey. Who's next?
Hey, Nick. How you doing, Nick?
Good, Kevin. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I have to admit, I'm not really the most optimistic fan, but, now I've gotten older and I'm trying to look for silver linings, I suppose. But curious about your opinion on something.
Okay.
As far as the new pickup is concerned, now, I admit I'm not looking to Logan Wilson as like a savior for the season, but I am thinking, maybe it takes some of the pressure off of Overshown when he comes back, because I think the fear is like we got a real potential superstar in Overshown, but if he comes back and he has to do too much, is that going to hurt his development? So maybe Logan Wilson comes in, and I'd like to hear your opinion on the type of backer that Wilson is. Can he maybe assume some of those green dot responsibilities, take some pressure off of Overshown, let him just sort of do his thing?
Yeah.
Just curious about your opinion on that. I mean, like I said, I don't think they're going to the playoffs this year, but I don't care that much. I'm kind of looking to what they can do with the team and the defense as a whole down the road, maybe next season and the future, especially with those draft picks. So curious about your thoughts on that. So thanks, Nick. I'll hang up and listen.
All right, Kevin. I really like that call. I think that's a very it's just realistic. I was going to say optimistic. It's not. It's a realistic. It's a realistic approach to the season. Not really looking to go to the playoffs, but you never know. They still got the logo up there in the hunt. Now it's far off to the right. They're out. With a lot of other teams. But when until you're out of it, you keep fighting, you keep scrapping, and that's the way I am. And I know I'll be on here arguing with people about. Again, it's their opinion, so it's my opinion too. We can say what we want, but I just think you go play the game. And I'm not looking at draft picks, seeding, and all that, and tanking, and you just go play. And we're not at that point yet. I like that they've made a move, and again, I like that they've made a move that could affect this team next year and beyond that as well. But what you said about Overshown and not maybe having him come in and try to be a savior, I think that's really important because I think Logan Wilson can help, and he's gonna help you at that position, and then Overshown can come in and do his thing at his pace, and so that he should be ready to play for the Raiders game. The window's been open, so they're gonna have to make a decision. I would imagine that he's on the roster and probably playing against the Raiders, and for a couple of weeks, Logan Wilson should be here and ready to go. He should be rested, and just like Overshown should be ready to go. And so those could be two of your most prominent linebackers going into that game. All right, Rick in St. Charles, Missouri. Rick,
how you doing, Nick?
How are you?
Good. I agree with a lot of what you just your response there about playing the games and seeing the schedule through. I mean, there's still 8 games to play, a lot of games.
Yeah.
And then again, I called in before the game last week and said basically need to play the games and see what happens and count them up at the end. I was afraid of the Cardinals, and sure enough, something bad happened. Just a comment, or maybe you can help me understand it. Maybe it's the people, the players involved or whatever, but it seems like we're seeing free releases, or if not free releases, we can't see the whole coverage scheme on TV, but free releases or people just running wide open on a regular basis. How is that happening? I could see, you get beat occasionally, but this happens too regularly. Defense played slightly better last night, but overall there were still big plays happening pretty regularly. So anyway, that's my comment. I'll let you respond. Thank you.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, it looks like they don't practice. That's really. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. And I'm trying to be nice about it, but it just looks like the corners and safeties just decide to play different schemes. I mean, that's just how bad it looks, and you can only go off of that. And that's the thing that's always tough when, this guy's not playing well or this corner. That's why I never really look at PFF grades and stuff like that, because they don't know what the coverage is and they don't know what the responsibility is. So you can make grades pretty much with linemen, left tackle, right tackle, do they block their guy, or the receiver makes the catch, and how much distance he has with separation and all that kind of stuff. But corners and safeties, when they're kind of mixing in and out of zone and coverages, it's tough. It's always tough to pinpoint. So I always got to be careful in how we say that. All I'm saying is that you're right. It doesn't look like they practice a lot, because it happens every single week. I went and looked at quarterback ratings. Quarterback ratings for the opponents. They've played 9 games. 6 of the 9 quarterbacks they've faced have had their best game of the season in quarterback rating against the Cowboys. The other 3 have all been over 92. I mean, so that's still pretty good. 2 of them have been over 100, just not their best game. Jalen Hurts was like 96 or so, and I mean, he's had a 158. He's had a perfect rating. So, but they all have been pretty good. But 6 of the 9 have had their best game, including Jacoby Brissett, and Russell Wilson and Bryce Young and Bo Nix, and the list goes on and on. So, all right, I think, Chris, are we done with calls? We have any more?
No, we got Tom in Mississippi.
Sorry, having some difficulties today. Tom in Mississippi.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing, man? I'm Nick.
I'm doing good. And you pretty much hit it on that last call. The defense they can't play zone. That last play to Harrison almost sums it up when 21, I believe it was, he runs by 21. 21 hits him, lets him go in the hole. If the ball wasn't thrown short, it'd been another catch.
Yeah.
You have to carry your man. I mean, it's Harrison. You're going to just tap him and let him run in the middle?
Yeah. No,
that's coaching. That's coaching. Coaching players, it's both.
Well, it's both. I mean, I'm with you. Tom, I'm with you there. And it is both. But it starts with coaching. But these players, they don't make the best decisions out there on the field either. And it just, you talk about football IQ, and there's plays that you're making, and you're like, man, that why would you run there? Why would you run there and open this up? You've got the sideline to your friend. I'm just thinking of one play, an example. You got the sideline is there. That sideline's your friend. So, use that to your advantage. And then there's times when you're like, you've got 10 guys over here, so why don't you go shade this way, cut him back here? You're gonna should have 10 guys at least come in here to a couple of these guys to make a play, and it's just the football IQ is not there. So I put it on the coaches as well, but man, help out a little bit. I mean, act like you've played football. Act like you've played in high school and college, and now you're in the NFL, and act like it's your job. So it's both. I am not putting this just on the players. I'm just saying this is a bad mix right now, and that's what we're seeing. We got to go one more caller. Chris in Saratoga Springs is calling back. Chris, what's up?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good. You got another question?
Not too much. After watching that game last night, I called during the draft, and when we drafted Booker, I didn't necessarily agree with that pick. I told you then that I didn't think we had a guard problem. I think we had a tackle problem. I thought Hoffman, I've been a big fan of Hoffman, and he's stepped in and done an unbelievable job for us. So I didn't think we had a guard problem. I thought we had a tackle, and I would have either went with Tyler Warren, which we talked about if he was a game-changing type tight end, or I would have went with Nolan, the defensive tackle we saw last night, who wreaked havoc against our offensive linemen. Do you still agree with that pick with Tyler Booker over somebody like Nolan or Warren on that? What is your thought process on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. I know they signed Ferguson, right? And they signed Ferguson before that trade or that draft. So, yeah, I would have. I mean, Tyler Warren was a fun player to watch. There's no doubt about it. I don't really know what he's doing. Walter Nolan, I'm telling you, that was a guy that the Cowboys really liked too. I mean, he was right in the mix. I think those were the two players, Walter Nolan and Booker. They probably went at it a lot last night. I understand with losing Zach Martin and saying, all right, let's this guy, we could plug him in, and he's going to be a great player for us, and I think he will be. I really do. I think he's got the mindset. I think both those Tylers. I think you're going to have two of the best guards, in all of football. By a year or two. You've got one of them right now already. So I have no problems with the pick there. I just think it was one of those. That's a pick for the future as well. All right, let's go to break one more time on Cowboys Storyline. I'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. Let's wrap up the show. Talking backwards here with the Cardinals-Cowboy game. It's these stats, just like you can go all the way back to the 40s, 50s, 60s. There's really no different. You look at the yards, about the same. Cardinals had 7 more yards. They had one more first down. Cowboys had a little more rushing yards. They had a little bit more passing yards. So what's the difference? How about 3 turnovers to 0? I mean, that's just the nature of football, and it doesn't really matter if it's the NFL, Monday night, Sunday game, preseason game, junior high on a Wednesday. It's you turn the football over, you're not going to win games 3-0. You're not going to win any games doing that, and we all know that. Everyone knows that. So that's the key. Penalties haven't been great for this team either, and that was something that happened. So all right, Cowboys make a trade. They add a linebacker. See if they add more to that moving forward. Bye week this week. Come back for another Monday night game. So that's back-to-back Monday night games sandwiched around a bye. And then after the Raiders on Monday night in November 17th, it's Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers in a row. 4 of them at home, but still 5. That's a gauntlet of games. All right. We will talk about it next week, and we'll talk about it tomorrow on the show. Also next week on the TV show as well on Cowboys Storyline. I'm Nick Eatman for Chris Beam. See ya next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!